Welcome to the Wander Women's Collective podcast. I'm your host, Gracie Hins. Today, I am chatting with Sarah Diekmeyer, a professional gravel bike racer, and I'm so psyched because this conversation happened right before the Rift Gravel, which my sister and I were both at, which took place last weekend and is probably one of the gnarliest races that you can imagine, as it is taking place in the Arctic Circle. And if you also want a couple more questions and interviews, go to the Wander Women's Collective on Instagram, and we interviewed both Sarah and Gabby from Enough Cycling. So there's a couple fun other things thrown in there. But yeah, I'm super excited about today's conversation. We kind of just chat about Sarah's life patterns and what got her into racing in the first place, her life between Berlin and Girona and traveling and everything that goes along with that. Some other exciting news is that I think we're going to be having a Wander merch drop soon. So once again, look at our Instagram and stay tuned for all of the upcoming things. And without further ado, here is the conversation, and I hope that you enjoy it. Well, first of all, thanks for doing this. I'm very excited about it. But I always start off these podcasts kind of just like a super basic intro of like having you kind of describe who you are and what you spend your time doing.
Cool. Well, hi, Gracie. Thanks for having me. Super happy to be here. So my name is Sarah, and what I spend my time doing, I race bikes. I do like off-road racing. I absolutely love it. It gives me so much joy. And yeah, on the side, I do some freelance social media management and marketing stuff. So kind of like two little buckets in my life, but I would say mostly I'm training and racing bikes. So.
How's like your time actually kind of like split in a day? Like how much time is allotted to like work stuff and then biking? Yeah. Or does it like totally depend on the day?
Oh my God, this is a funny question. So I feel like in the winter when I was more quiet, I would like wake up, the first thing I would do would like get up, eat my porridge, drink my coffees, and then go ride. But now I have more work stuff happening, so I'll do that in the morning. Then when I'm done, go out to train. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of like balanced. Since I'm freelancing, I could kind of like choose how I want to work. But if it's busy, I like to get that done first in the morning. Oh my God, like yesterday I only went out to ride and it was like almost 5 p.m. and I was like, oh geez Louise, I'm not gonna have enough daylight today.
Well, and like how, because I don't feel like I actually know anything about like the freelance stuff that you do, but like how did you get into it? And then how do you kind of like find work, and like what are there projects that you're like more drawn to or not drawn to?
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a funny story. I used to have a real life human corporate job. Like I was clocked in from 9 to 6 every day. And I was always doing some like freelance stuff on the side, but it'd be like 1 or 2 random projects. And then, I just ended up getting opportunities, and it just kind of is something I'm doing now to like supplement the bike racing because that's what I love to do. Yeah, it's kind of cool how it's working out. So I'm super, super happy, to be honest.
It's a good balance of all the things that you love, which is cool.
Yeah. I like being my own boss.
Yeah, no, that's I also kind of want to jump into like a bit of like your background and kind of how you got into biking and ended up like where you are today, because I know a little bit of this story, but I feel like everybody else listening will be excited to hear this as well.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So how I got into cycling. I feel like there's a lot of like different touch points in my life that sort of like led for me to be a cyclist. I'm from Montreal, Canada. So that I was born and raised in Canada. The sport I did growing up was ice hockey. I have to say ice hockey because when I say hockey in Europe, people are like, oh, field hockey and the skirt. And I'm like, no, ice hockey with the skates. So I grew up doing ice hockey from like the ages of 5 to like I was super into that, like super competitive at the highest level. Anyways, sidetrack. I would also go to school downtown, and I lived kind of in the suburbs, and it was super, super, super long commute. It was like a big walk and then the train. So I started riding my bike there. It happened like on Earth Day. They were like, oh, let's do this thing where we like ride to the school. And it was like a 25K commute, and I was like 16, and I was like, I'm gonna do this on my mom's hybrid bike. So I did this commute, and I was like, holy smokes, that was like so much fun. So I started commuting. I was a commuter. And then from then, Yeah, I started bike packing. There was some kids raising money at a bake sale for a bike trip from Montreal to New York City. And if you look on a map, like that's like 750K. That is like
That's some
pretty.
distance right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a distance for a bike trip. And I saw them raising money for this bake sale, and I was like commuting on my mom's hybrid bike, and I was like, I bought some cookies, and I was like, can I come with you guys? Like, this sounds really, really cool. And they're like, okay, but we're leaving next week. And I was like, all right, I'm
You're
coming.
like, I can do that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, if I could do 25K, I could do, 750. But it was like, yeah, it was honestly, it was really hardcore. We were like carrying all our gear, and we were just like camping on the side of the highway. And yeah, I emptied my life savings into a bike. It was like with those steel bikes with like manual shifters, and I had like a milk crate in the back of the bike because I was like, this is what people do when they go bike packing. And I did that trip, and on that trip I just absolutely fell in love with like the endurance aspect of it, and I really felt like the cyclist high for the first time. And I was just like, I don't know what is going on here, but I feel like I'm like on my X, and I like need to be doing more of this. I totally fell in love. Yeah, so that's how I got.
Wait, that's kind of a wild intro to biking.
Yeah, it was honestly really extreme, and it's so funny because it took us 5 days to get there. Okay, we were a group of 7. Only 3 of us made it to the end because the conditions were so bad. It was pouring rain for the first 3 days. It was like we would ride all day in the rain, camp outside, and start again the next day, pack up the tents, and like still be in like wet clothes from the day before. But finally, after that 3rd day, the sun came out. We were in the mountains, and then I just completely fell in love. It was awesome.
Were you into like hiking or backpacking or anything before this? Because I feel like it's
Hockey?
just the straight ice hockey to
Oh my,
bikepacking.
no,
Pipeline,
actually,
obviously.
oh my God. Yeah, not the typical pipeline. No, actually that year though, I had just started, I was doing varsity rowing as well. So I guess that kind of helped build my base a little bit. I only did that for a year. I've got to say rowing was not my thing, but maybe that's sort of how I was able to like translate the fitness a little bit.
But then also like the adventure side of it. Because I feel like even looking at like all of the races that you do now, it's like it's very adventure heavy. And like was that kind of an element of your life before you got into biking, or was it kind of after? Or just like the bike was the path to the adventure?
I think, I don't know. I think like one thing, like growing up, I was just always like not scared to do things. And I was always like a super curious person and adventurous in that way.
Yeah.
But I think like that bikepacking trip, the Montreal to New York City bikepacking trip was kind of like the gateway drug to it, I think. Yeah, after that trip, like the people running the club graduated, and then I sort of took over the club and then planned bike pack trips. Yeah, we did like Montreal, Quebec City, then Montreal, Boston, and that's how where I really developed like that sense of adventure, I think.
Well, and then you kind of took that and then you got into road cycling, right?
Yeah,
Was that after you moved to Berlin or was that before?
it was actually, I did like 1 year of it when I was like still in Montreal, like before moving to Berlin. After I did the bikepacking thing in Montreal, there's like a really big crit racing scene. It's like, 2-3 times a week there's like a crit race. It's like 1 hour around the parking lot, and it's like the whole city's there. And I would go watch the races, and I was like, oh my God, like this is so cool. But I never felt like I could do it. I was like always on the sidelines, and I was like, I don't think I could
So
do this.
intense.
Yes.
It's
Yeah, there
so
would be crashes left, right, and center. Like every race, someone with a broken collarbone. I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. But then one day I was like, I really want to try this. So I messaged a bunch of teams. None of them got back to me except for this one team. Bless this team. They're called Shadow Elite. It was like a women's only team, and they sort of took me in with no experience. And yeah, I started doing some crit races, some road races. I'm not gonna lie, the first season, I think I DNF'd like pretty much every race. It's really hard to get into road racing, honestly. And I think if it wasn't for like that supportive community of women, I probably would have quit. Like it was really hard, but eventually you sort of get over that first year, and then you finish 50th, and then you finish 30th, and then you get lucky maybe once you finish top 20, and then just that improvement is like the best feeling ever. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
keep doing crit? Or did you kind of like what was the exit of, because then I mean like obviously now you just race gravel, but like what was kind of the transition from like crit road gravel?
Oh, okay. This is also kind of a little bit of a funny story. I was racing like the road and the crit stuff, and I have to say, I loved it, but my heart was always in the bike packing adventure stuff. Like that's what I loved. I loved like discovering new things and like seeing new places. And maybe this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I remember seeing a picture on my feed of migration gravel race. It was a picture of somebody riding through Africa, and
Yeah.
they're covered in dirt, and they had like all the they and I was like, what is this? I want to do this. And I saved it on a mood board. I have so many like mood boards and vision boards, and I was like, this is the yeah. Literally, and I saved it, and I didn't even know what race it was. I just knew it was like some race in Africa, and I saved it on my vision board, and I was like, this is the kind of stuff I want to be doing. And then I heard of this gravel race called Big Red Gravel Run in Montreal, and that was like my first gravel race, and I just really enjoyed this sort of like survival type of aspect of it. You're just going out there. There's no one's like giving you bottles. Well, now it's changed. Obviously, the scene like evolved a lot, but I really enjoyed just like being out there in the woods, and like you're pretty much riding alone most of the time because like how technical the field is. And I just totally fell in love with the off-road racing. Like I genuinely love the terrain, and I love like the style of it, and that was sort of my gateway. And yeah, it's just funny enough because, like, I just 2 weeks ago, I just came back from racing that race, migration gravel race in Africa. And it was like seeing that picture, like, and now I've finally ending up at that event. It's just kind of a crazy.
And wait, because was this year the first time that you had done migration?
Yeah, this year was the
Okay.
first year I did it.
I feel like I need a full play-by-play because I'm so curious about like how it is. Because
Oh
like
my
one of those
goodness.
races that you do just like look at it and you're like, this looks so insane. And the
Uh-huh.
fact that it's like the stage race and you're just like, yeah, there was like the video of you with like a rhino or something that
Oh
like
my
you
I almost got
like, oh
smoked. Dude, honestly,
my
one
God.
second later I would have been yeah, oh my god, that thing almost smoked me. Yeah, so okay, I'll give a little rundown about this race. It's basically a 4-day stage race in Kenya.
Mhm.
So every day there's like a different camp. Well, this year there's only 2 camps, so you do 2 days at the same place, then 2 days at a different
Okay.
camp. So you
Okay.
like finish, and then your stuff gets transferred over. And
Mhm.
there's like an overall general classification. So if you finish that stage, then you're like timed overall, and then there's like a ranking towards the end of the four
Gotcha.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically every day it's just a really long and hard day out. And there's so much local African talent. I like
Mhm.
could not believe it. It's sort of like Team Imani, which is sponsored by Rafa, their big event.
Mhm.
And they also have a development team called the Black Mambas, and they just had so many
Mhm.
insanely talented riders over there. Yeah, it was really crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and like what kind of landscape are you riding through? And you're at altitude, right?
Oh yeah, you're at
Yeah.
altitude. Oh my god, you're okay. So we actually got there about a week early. Actually, it was more like 4 or 5 days early to try to acclimatize to the altitude. I did not acclimatize. Like I still felt like I was breathing through a straw. I was like, oh my goodness. And your watts are just so much lower, and you're like, am I okay? But then it's like, okay, you're just at like two,
Just yeah.
3,000 meters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just going through. It's like a bit of everything. There's like one day, the first stage, it was like a flatter stage, and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is going to be the easy day. Oh, it was not easy. It's just like crazy rock gardens, crazy winds, like so much sand. The second day, it was this super hilly day with like a really long hour-and-a-half climb, but it's not like a fun steady climb. There's just like ruts in there, and you're just like
Mhm.
yeah, you're just holding on and trying to make it to the finish. Then the third day, super hilly as well, and it ended with like an hour-long single track descent, and all the whole time I have to say, at the start of every stage, they have to fly a helicopter out to clear the animals out of the way because there's so much wildlife. Like, I'm not even joking. There's like what, wildebeest, there's cows, there's giraffes, there's everything. Zebras, so many zebras. Like, it's pretty insane. I have to say, not gonna lie, after the first day we got there, I almost got run over by it was a wildebeest apparently, which looks like a buffalo and a rhino, but it's called a wildebeest. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get smoked by these animals, or like a hyena's gonna chase me. And I was like, I was a little bit scared. But honestly, the way they organized it was so safe. Basically, you have like the local community. They're called like Maasai people. So if you saw pictures of those people with those blankets, they're like the Maasai people. So during the evenings, they kind of like take care of the camp and make sure we're okay. And during the day, they go on these motos called bodas, and they sort of like follow the riders around. And honestly, I never felt safer. Like, I had a mechanical, I like snapped a gear cable, and within like less than a minute, I had a moto next to me, and then like to make sure I was okay. And they're really like close to you to make sure there's no like animals or anything. And it's just like a crazy contrast when you think of that versus like, you know, I had a friend who raced Unbound and got a crash, like she crashed and was like injured and didn't have anybody go to help her for like more than an hour, versus in the middle of the Kenyan jungle, you have somebody with you like right away. I think that was like really well done on the organizers' part to be there for you.
How big is migration? Like, how many people are showing up and racing it?
I think it was like 300 riders.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
actually really cool because I just feel like
Yeah.
it's also just such a unique way to like actually just come and see a place. And like, you know, like in my world, it's like, you know, you're thinking about like racing and what it looks like and all of that and standings and things, but then it's like you can also just be like a super average person and like go sign up for a race like this and
Yeah.
like have like the sickest time ever.
Oh yeah, and I have to say, like, in terms of life experience, it was like such a cool life experience. And I think like 300 people for a stage race is actually quite a lot, but I mean, for something like the biggest ones, it's like sounds pretty small. But the best part is that like after every stage, you know, everybody is like getting dinner together, everybody's going to the bucket showers. Oh yeah, we were showering with these
What is the bucket shower?
it's basically they like fill up this bucket, and then after you have to go, and it has like a little faucet thing, and you open it, and then you just shower.
A bucket shower. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I have to say it was actually better than I thought it would be. Like, I had time to soap, and I had time to shampoo and condition, which I was not expecting, which was a luxury. I was expecting to not be washing my hair all week. So
Yeah, it's just camping. It's just
Yeah.
camping out in, out in
Yeah.
Kenya. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. No, but oh yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, the best part is that you get to like see everybody after every stage, and I feel like the first stage everybody's like kind of reserved and like just kind of doing their own thing, but day by day everybody gets super close, and no matter if you had a really good day or a really bad day, you always have a story to tell and to like share with one another, and it's really special. I really like the stage racing format, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Well, and what are the other, because you've done a couple of stage races this year or last year. Yeah, what have been like some favorites?
Ooh, I'm actually so lucky. I've already done 3 this year. So I did this one in Chile. It's called Atacama Spirits. This one was 5 days, and we basically just rode across the Atacama Desert in Chile. And I think I love that one so much because this one was like every day was a new camp, and it kind of combined my love for bikepacking and my love for racing, because it was like you would finish it in a new area, and then you could just like walk around and check it out, and then, you know, have dinner and then get ready to do it again the next day. And it was, that was really cool and really special.
Yeah. No, I feel like the stage racing and like the bike packing element of like it's just cool because it does just seem like it maintains that kind of like raw adventure spirit of biking, which is so sick in comparison to, you know, some of your bigger events that are just like blowing up and like so massively competitive and everybody and everyone is there. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's true. And there's also this really good one in Morocco I recommend. It's called like Sahara, gravel race, and that one was a really fun one. My teammates and I like bike packed to the start of it, and I think that just it was just so fun. It was
Where
really
did you
cool.
guys start bike packing from for that?
So
Or how did that idea come about?
how did that? Good question. This is why I love my team. So the team I race for is called Enough Cycling, and it's like the purple guys. I'm sure you've seen them
Oh
around.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm kind of curious, like even how you got connected to enough too, but this Sahara Desert, Morocco first, and then we'll get into that.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, sure. So yeah, I think like the team there's like performance based, but it's also about like having fun on the bike and like the whole adventure like around it, you know? Because you could just show up to a race and have a bad day, but if you like make a trip out of it, then you could really like get a lot of value out of it and like yeah. So I think it was Louise, my teammate. She's awesome. I don't know if you've ever met her. She is so strong on a bike. And she was like, why don't we just ride to the race start instead of doing this 8-hour transfer? And then she was like, do you want to do this with me? And I'm like, girl, you are talking to the right person. Hell yeah. So, and then we convinced our other teammate Frank to join us. And yeah, it was like 2 days. We started in Marrakesh and there was like a race hotel. So we left our bags with the transfer there. And then we just, we rode like, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours the first day, then 4 or 5 hours the second day. And we stayed just like in this little, it was kind of like a bed and breakfast in the middle of nowhere. And the people there were so kind. They made us this really awesome thing called messemen. It's like a kind of like a pancake, but oh, it was sensational. I still think about it to this day. Then we got to the race, started, did 3 more days of racing, and yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I
Super
love it.
beautiful.
I also see, I feel, yeah, like this, like the whole mindset of like, yeah, why not just like do that? Of course I'm gonna do that. It's so good.
But that's the thing. It's kind of like you. I don't know. You can have these crazy ideas and be like, "Oh, I'll just keep that as an idea," or you could just be like, "We could actually just do it." You know, like
Yeah.
why not just do it? And it ended up being like such a great part of the trip. And I have to say, like Morocco is just so beautiful. Like it's so colorful and it's so like such a rich in culture country. Like I don't think I would have had the same experience if I was just like in and out just to race it. So yeah.
Well, and that route that you did, was it on just like back roads or were you on like how did you come up with the route to even get there?
Well, that's a good question, but actually we were lucky the organizers had made the routes for us. So
Okay.
yeah, some of it was main roads, but some of it were like really tough back roads. I'm not gonna lie, like under the sun, and it was like really hot, but it was so beautiful. The 3 of us, we had only hung out once at like our little training camp in January. Like we didn't really know each other that well, but we ended up getting so close, and it's like every corner you're like, oh my goodness. We all look at each other, we're like, do you see this? And we all have to like stop and take a picture. Like the elapsed time versus moving time was crazy.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was as long stopped as moving time.
Oh my gosh.
Also because we kept getting punctures because the rocks are like pretty gnarly
Gotcha.
over there. Yeah.
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 That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean,
How did you get connected to Enough though? Like, what's the kind of like backstory there? Because like it does just
yeah.
such a sick kind of like mellow but also competitive crew of people.
Oh my God, this team is the best. Honestly, I have to say, I love every one of them. So I was an ambassador for Panormal beforehand, and Panormal sponsors Enough. They have like 3 race teams that they sponsor. So I was like, I knew the people there, and I was like a privateer beforehand. And I'm trying to think where I actually got connected. I went to the Enough Festival last year. They have a festival every year. You should come. It's in September. It's gonna be super fun. So I got connected with the people there, and then my teammate Lydia, she was a friend of mine beforehand, and she recommended to go bikepacking in the Dolomites, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. And that's where the team's based out of, so I sort of connected with them there, and the team manager made me the route, and I guess I sort of got close with them to then, and then it was just ended up being like a really good fit. I really love this team. They're the best. There's
Well,
a
and
lot
how
of
long have
heart
you
and
been
soul.
riding with them?
Just for this year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I just started this year. So
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
was like an ambassador for past beforehand, and then I just like did the transition over. So
Well, and how does like the team element like work? Like, I feel like it's kind of a dumb question, but I feel like depending on this team, like it's so different. But like how do they kind of like work together with you and like support you and like what is like almost like are there like expectations on races that you're doing or is it kind of just like a bit of a free for all?
Okay, so it kind of depends. I guess we get like a contract at the start of the year and just like talk about like what races we really want to do. And there's a certain amount that are like, yeah, with the team. And then it's not all riders go to every race. It kind of depends on like which races you want to do. For example, like, Lydia loves ultras. So she does the ultra races. And then, yeah, it kind of like depends on that. So often we'll get like a team house or something, which is like really nice. And then they support us in terms of like bottle service, which is amazing in like feed zones because, yeah, now it's like really crucial to have that. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, what are kind of also like pros and cons of going like the privateer route that you were doing before versus like being in a team or like what was kind of the deciding factor there?
Ooh, okay. Well, I think I just really miss like being on a road team before. I did miss like the team aspect. Being a privateer is super fun too because you get to like, choose who you want to work with and like really like choose your own calendar. But with enough, it's really cool because I could also do races like that. I kind of go on my own like without the team. So I feel like I kind of get the mix of both. But yeah, I did miss like the team aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the girls on the team, they're so awesome. Like, I really love all of them. And I feel like, yeah, it's just great.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
pretty rad. When you
Yeah.
guys did like your Italian bikepacking trip in like Sardinia,
Oh, yes.
that looked rad.
Oh my God. We made a little film. It's gonna come out, I'm not sure when, but we shot like a mini documentary during that trip. And it was, yeah, it was really cute. It's so funny though, because I was scared to watch it because I feel like I'll be like asleep the whole time because I went straight from a 30-hour travel day from the Chile race straight to this with no, like literally landed at the airport and then we took the ferry, which was 8 hours overnight, and then started the bikepacking trip. It was like pretty insane, but it was such a fun trip. Sardinia is beautiful.
How many
And
days was that again?
it was 4 or 5.
That's like a happy amount, just like existing and cycling with your
Yeah.
teammates.
And it's really cool to be in a setting that's not just like in a race, you know? Like we were all together for the Traca and it was like amazing time, but it's like, every day there's like something to do and it's like, okay, we're hosting this activation group ride and then we have like this warm up and then boom, we have to get ready for this race and then boom, we have to get ready for that. And it's like on, and doing something like that was like the perfect balance to just enjoy bikes in a totally different way. And yeah, it was great.
Do you have any other like, do you have any personal like big bike packing things that you really want to do?
Ooh, bikepacking thing? I
Or
don't
that could
know.
be like an endless list right there.
Oh my God. Yeah, there is an endless list, but I think what I really want to do, which is, I don't know if it's bikepacking, but I want to race an ultra really, really badly. I feel like every year I think about it and I'm just like, I keep being like, no, it's not the year. Oh, it's not the time. But the idea of just like riding through the night and into the morning and like seeing the sun rising, I feel like that would just be so magical. And I really would love to experience that. So that's one of the goals I have for this season. Yeah, I guess that's just kind of like a very long bikepacking trip where you don't stop.
Well, yeah, it's just a like 24-hour grind basically.
Yeah,
More than
literally.
24-hour
Yeah,
grind.
yeah, I feel like it would just be like a great life experience, and I just like want to do it once and just like see if I'm even capable of, because I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know, we set limits in our brain because I've always been like, there's no way I could do that, but I feel like I just want to try and just see and like just push myself and try that. So
What
yeah.
do you feel like some of those things were that you were like, oh, like I don't know if I can do that, that you ended up doing, you were like, oh, I did that.
I mean, even just the first time I raced Unbound, I think I sort of like signed up for it, and at that point, this was like the first time I did it was in 2022, and like racing 320 kilometers, I don't think I'd done more than like 100K, and I was like, running 100K, I was like, can I do that times 3? And I was like, there's no way. But then you just get in it and you're
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. I think the way I look at those kind of things, or like those really hard events or those really tough endurance things, I'm just like, okay, Sarah, either way, the time is going to pass. Like, either way, tomorrow is going to be tomorrow. And it's just how I spend that time in between. And I just need to like push through it and get through it. Like, it will be more annoying if I just like, everything's hurting, you're dehydrated. You're not necessarily having the best time. The first time I did Unbound, I literally, oh my God, did I tell you the story about the shoe?
I don't think so. No.
Oh my God. So I wiped out in the mud section and the boa on my shoe completely ripped off. Like it ripped off. So, and it was a single boa shoe, so I couldn't close it anymore. And this was like, I was only 120-ish K into the race and I couldn't close my shoe anymore. So every time I pedal, my foot would just fly out. And I was like, geez Louise, I'm in the middle of Kansas. Like no one's coming to get me right now. What am I gonna do? So I kept riding barefoot on the SPD pedal. I put the shoe in the back because my foot just like kept falling out. And I was like, what the heck? I'm just gonna keep riding until I don't know when. Maybe I'll make it to the finish. Maybe I'll make it to like a gas station and figure it out from there. I just decided to keep riding, and maybe it was like 200 something K in, I saw a farmer at the side of the road and he was like, you all right, miss? I was not all right. I had like tears coming down my face. I was like barefoot on the SPD pedals and I was like, no. I was like, can you help me? I was like, and then I asked him if he had tape and he didn't have tape to tape my shoe closed so I could like put it back on. No, and you know what he did? He ripped off the sleeve of his shirt. He had like a little shirt, flannel shirt thing. He ripped off the sleeve and then tied my shoe shut with the sleeve. So I was able to finish. I was able to put my foot back into the shoe and finish. Yeah. And I think, that was like just so kind. I was like, wow, what a kind man. And I think in that point, I was in so much pain riding barefoot on the pedal. Like it was so hot. And I was just like, just keep going. Tomorrow's going to be tomorrow. You just have to black out these next couple of hours and then you're going to find a solution eventually. And I think that was kind of like the mindset that like helped me get through those kind of really tough endurance events. So yeah, I finished in the pitch black. I was covered in mud. I was in so much pain, but I think just that finish of like the feeling of crossing the finish line and you're like, I really didn't think I could do that, but I did, is just so amazing. And it's like, it's really like a addicting feeling, I think. So
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's cool too because it can kind of translate to other elements of life where like you can kind of put yourself in those uncomfortable positions in like an endurance sport, and then like it sometimes makes other elements of life easier, if that makes any sense.
Well, it really helps
Even,
you
like,
gain
in terms of-
perspective.
Yeah, even in terms of like job, career, housing, it's like, okay, no, like it'll all just work its way out, which is a nice perspective putter. For sure.
Yes, even if it's hard to believe at times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What was the first year that you were doing like that you did like a full race calendar year for gravel?
I think the first year I did it was like where I fully went gravel girl was in 2022. I still did some crit racing, like I did like Tulsa Tough and stuff like that. But that year it was like my main focus. I had like, the first 3 years of racing, I had like really bad injuries that took me like a long time to heal from. And I feel like this is the first year that I've had like a clear slate and it feels really good. I'm like super happy. So yeah.
What were some of the injuries?
Oh God. Well, in 2022, I got hit by a car and broke my collarbone and was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Then the year after, broke my elbow. And then
How did you break your elbow?
it was so stupid. I was doing a wheelie and then I like over rotated and then I like slammed on my arm and then it just like broke. The thing is, when you crash, you need to be going at a high speed. So you kind of like fly off the pavement, and you roll and then you don't break anything. But when you're going not super fast, like that's when you break bones. Yeah, so that happened then. And then like most recently last year, I had like that's where this weird scar comes from. I like broke my shoulder I
Wait,
just
so
like
with the car, did you break your shoulder with that too?
broke my collarbone.
Okay, wait, so collarbone, shoulder, elbow. Holy cow.
Yeah, I just
No.
the whole upper body was just like not doing well. But I think like last year's injury was the worst one because that one like I had some serious like surgical complications and it ended up like instead of 3 to 4 months, it took like 10, almost 11 months to heal.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, that
That
was
is a
like
lot of time. Yeah.
yeah.
That is a
It,
really long time.
Oh, I was in a bad way. It was a
Yeah.
really long time. And that's why, I don't know, this year I'm just like so happy to be like healthy and racing again. And like, I think the approach I take to racing now is like really to be like steady and safe and sensible and not do anything crazy. And I think that's like helped me like so much. Yeah.
How were you like mentally dealing with, especially like the last shoulder injury with that long of a recovery time? Like, what were you spending your time doing if you weren't on the bike all the time?
Oh my God. Well, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm sure like you're a runner too and you get like your daily happiness boost like through your exercise, right? And like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
A run, if it's a bike, like
Oh my God.
I need
I,
something.
yeah, I feel you. And I'm just like such an active person. I feel like even when I was like working a desk job at the office, like every hour I would have to like go outside and like walk around just because I needed to move. And just not being able to move was extremely difficult. Like in the surgical complications, like basically like a major artery was cut and I lost like a ton of blood and like the incision point where they put the structure, like the metal structure, it was like the wrong incision point, so it didn't hold. It basically like completely fell apart and they had to take it out. And there was just like I lost so much bone and so much blood, and the recovery of that was not even like just fixing the bone. I just like
Right.
was completely white and like had no color in
Yeah.
my face and was like I was like a ghost for like months afterwards, just like trying to get that back and like trying to feel like myself again. So I have to say it was difficult. I was still working like at a corporate job, so I had like a month off and then I was able to like work from home again, so at least I was spending my time doing that. But yeah, it was tough. Lots of Zwift, lots of hot girl walks. I have to say, I was very big on the hot girl walks where you listen to a podcast and you're just
Yeah.
like headphones
Right.
in, world out.
Yeah.
I was big on that. Yeah, and I just tried to really focus on things like nurturing friendships, which I was like ignoring. I think when you're like an athlete, like I don't know, you really prioritize like your training. At least like I do a lot, and I wasn't really like someone's like, "Oh, let's go for dinner." I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I need to recover. But I was really focusing on like, calling my friends back home more and like being there for people. And like, I was really trying to focus on that. And I think in that way, it's like one of the small positives that came out of this. I think it like helped me be a better person in that way. So,
Yeah, like, 'cause how was that kind of like identity switch in a way going from like, wow, I'm a full athlete kind of to then like, okay, I need to like pump the brakes on this and kind of like be able to almost, spend more time on these other elements of my life.
yeah, I mean, it was honestly, it was really tough, but I always knew that I had like other things going for me. Like I really focused like on my job at the time. And then I knew I would bounce back, like I was like, it's going to be really tough, but I'll come back. I've like broken bones before and you always come back. Like as an athlete, especially like when you ride off road, it's like, it's not about if you crash, it's about when you'll crash. Like it's really inevitable to get injured, just like statistically speaking, if you're riding your bike outside 6 days a week, like eventually something's gonna happen. So I just like really reminded myself that like I'll be back to racing again. It's gonna take some time, but I just have to like keep pushing forward. And I was still able to ride a little bit, like not race, but I was able to like ride outside after like I think it was 5-6 months. I was able to start riding outside, and then that's when I focused on bikepacking. Like I did like some like that little trip to the Dolomites. I was like, oh, I can't race, so I'm gonna challenge myself in different ways, and I hadn't done that for a while. I had sort of put a pause on the whole adventure stuff, so
Okay.
I started doing more of that again. And yeah, But I definitely think it's like changed a lot about like how I ride my bike now. I feel like before I used to like take descents and like dive bomb corners, and I would let the Lord take the wheel. I would be like, I am not in control right now, but I'm just gonna send it down this descent because I don't want to lose the group that I'm in. I'm just gonna like go, and I would like trust that I'd always catch myself. But like after losing the sport for so long, I think I like really look at it differently now, and I'm really like, I need like being safe and healthy is like my number one priority now. And yeah, I just like changed the mindset like for it all. So
I feel like that's one too that like unfortunately you kind of have to learn that the hard way. Of like like it's kind of easy to exist in that space of like it'll just be fine, and then there's an injury and you're just like, nope, I need to be a little bit more chill.
oh, I know. And it's like,
It sucks, but
oh
yeah,
yeah.
and it's just like especially with like cycling injuries too. It's like that can be those are three massive injuries that you've had. Like
I
those are
know.
massive injuries. Like
I know. Like
wow.
all of them were like, you know what's hilarious? I've been living like in Europe for like 5 years now, and the only time my mom's come to visit me, well, it's been because I've had to be like, Mom, I'm in the hospital. And she's like, oh, Sarah, not again. So every time she's come, it's always been to like take care of me in the hospital or afterwards. And it's like kind of hilarious. My poor mother, like, bless her soul, giving her a heart attack.
Yeah. Do your parents cycle at all or like pay attention to the bike world at all?
Um, I- well, they cycle. I remember when I was a kid, we would like, if we were good, we would cycle to the Dairy Queen, which was like a 5K bike ride away. So we would just cycle 5K to the Dairy Queen. But no, they don't really ride bikes, but I'll send them like, you know, some race updates and
Okay.
yeah, they love the hockey, but I think the cycling is like it's not that big where I came from because we have like 6 months of like brutal winters. But I give them updates, and they're like, "Go, Sarah," and I'm like, "Thanks." It's really cute. So.
That is really cute. Do they really understand it though, or kind of like I don't know, I feel like sometimes with the whole world of like sports and adventure, it's like especially like people from home that might just not get it. Like I don't know. Those are always interesting conversations to have.
Well, I think they might have a hard time understanding, like, right now I'm training, like, about, like, 21 hours a week, and they're just, like, I think they have a hard time understanding how I love it so much, like, how I could just be like, this is what I want to do every single day, and it, like, fulfills me so much, but I, like, send my parents Maddie's YouTube vlogs, because we do a lot of similar
Yeah.
races,
Yeah.
and I send them the vlogs, and they'll watch it on the TV, because I'm, like, in a lot of them, and I think them seeing it from that perspective, like, really gets them excited, so I think it's really sweet in that way.
No, it was actually really cute. I think my sister was like watching one of Maddie's vlogs and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I totally get it now." And she's
No
coming with me
way!
she was like she's coming with me to Iceland and she was like, "Yeah, I like watched Maddie's vlog
No
about
way!
Iceland and now I'm like so psyched and I know exactly what to expect."
Oh my
So, yeah.
god!
It's funny
Oh,
because I feel like with YouTube stuff and like social media stuff, you kind of like it is just such an amazing relatability like thing where it's like, okay, if somebody doesn't totally get it, then you can just be like, hey, you should watch this YouTube video, and then boom, content.
boom. It just captures so much more that like your little caption post race can't.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
oh, I love that she watched Maddie's Iceland vlog. That's hilarious because last
Yeah.
year she was injured and I was injured and we were both like in the Swanee car during Iceland and we had the best time. We literally had the best time doing bottle services. We're like, this is awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A little bit less stress. Well, kind of.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just stress in a slightly different way.
Yeah, you don't want to miss your ride or else you're poof. That's
No,
your
yeah.
oh no, no, that's
Not
bad.
good.
But this year we'll both get to races, so I'm really excited for that.
I know. I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah.
Because what other races are kind of on your calendar for this year?
Okay, so there's like a couple of random like small local ones I'm doing, but the big ones I have is the Rift in Iceland, Badlands.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that one at the end of August. I'm very scared, but I'm like, this is the year we're gonna do it. And then I'm also doing gravel burn in South Africa.
Okay. Is this the first year of it?
Yes.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
what's crazy? So it's basically like I've always wanted to do Cape Epic, but that's like a mountain
Mm-hmm.
bike 7 day stage race. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm like technically ready for that, but I love the idea of doing a stage race in South Africa. And this year they came out with the gravel version of it. So I saw that and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm doing this
Oh, is it the
race.
same organizers as? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
So that's gonna be, I think that's like the last week of October, and I'm really, really looking forward to that one. And then, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there will be Worlds and then the Rancho Gravelers Series final as well, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not too wrecked from Badlands. So, yeah. Because I feel like that, if I, like, that race is gonna absolutely destroy me in the best way, but I'm really excited for it.
Wait, what are the dates for it?
It's August 31st, and it's basically
Oh, okay.
800K through like the Spanish desert. It's like 40 degrees, and
Oh my
it's
gosh.
gonna be insane. So it just depends how quick you do it. So it starts the
Do you know anybody
31st.
else doing it?
Nope.
Or other teammates?
I think Svenja, who won it last year, or she came second. She's like
Yeah.
super strong. She was at migration with me. She says she might do it again this year. So hopefully I'll see her there.
Okay.
I think Danny, who won the pairs last year, is gonna do it. She is like so strong and so badass. Danny Shrewsbury. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the coolest girl ever. So I think she's gonna do it as well. But
Mm-hmm.
everyone's kind of like a maybe, because I think it's like,
That's fair. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like a.
We'll see.
There's type 2 fun. I feel like that is like a type 99 fun.
That's really valid.
Yeah. So those are the big ones I have coming up. So
That's
yeah.
exciting though. Yeah. Well, and do you kind of have like a down time of the year, or do you just get excited about
Just send
whatever?
it all, all year. Well, yeah, it's like a super long season. Like I started racing in February, and then my last race is going to be in November. I think right now I have like a month between, well, not even a month actually. Yeah, a month between migration and the Rift. So I guess this
Mm.
is kind of like my mini downtime. And then yeah, after the Rift, I'm gonna go home to Montreal for a couple weeks, and then I'm gonna like really relax and reset, and then yeah, the second half of the season, there's like kind of a lot of back-to-back race weekends. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and do you kind of feel like, actually, no, I was gonna say like any like seasons of burnout, but then I kind of imagine with like injuries and everything, it's like you've kind of been like
Oh,
forced
yeah.
downtime.
Oh my God. Well, actually, sometimes I feel like, okay, at the moment, actually, I have to say, like, I'm really loving the training, and I'm like super stoked all the time, which I'm like so grateful for. But I think the only reason for this is that, like, I had anemia like 2 years ago. So that's like,
Mhm.
has to do with like low iron and also like overtraining. And I was just like constantly tired and constantly fatigued. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? And now I'm like really focusing on like nutrition and recovery, and like getting my protein immediately after every ride, and then like making sure I
Yeah.
have like 3 full complete meals, and like that's actually like really helped me a lot with like not burning out, I think. So just
Hmm.
like fueling myself properly, and then also like I try to, like, I don't know, logistics and travel days can be really hard, so I really try to like avoid like doing overnight flights or type of things like that. Getting good super important to me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But burnout
Honestly,
happens, baby. Burnout
yeah.
happens.
I feel like especially like when you are traveling a lot, like low stress travel is like super underrated.
Oh yes. Oh my.
I feel
Low.
like, there's like so many people that they like take so much pride in like, oh my gosh, I got the cheapest plane ticket and like,
Oh.
and I'm just like, nope, it's actually not worth it. I would rather spend an extra $500 to have like a one-way ticket and not three different stops. And it's like that right there is like make or break in, I feel like even just like stress and like how you feel.
Or have you, getting from, because I'm staying in Girona right now, getting from
Yeah.
Barcelona airport to Girona can be such a nightmare if you take like the regional slow train. And
Oh,
I'm like,
absolutely. It's such a
I
pain. Yeah.
I am gonna spend the extra 10 euros and take that fast train. I
Yep.
I cannot do a 2.5 hour like slow train. I'm gonna take the fast train. And then you know what I did the other day? I paid the extra 3 euros to be in the AC nice cart. I was like, I am treating myself. I'm gonna get the nice coach. Like, oh my God. And I was like, hell yeah, this was self-care.
That is definitely a good move. I just can't believe how hot it is in Girona right now too. Well, and like, how do you kind of, I don't know, like, have you kind of planned of like, okay, are you gonna be in Girona again this winter, or are you just kind of seeing where the wind takes you a bit?
I think I'm probably gonna go back to Berlin, like at the end of the season, I think. But I do enjoy, like, I do enjoy the escaping the winter. It's kind of nice, you know. I've done my time on Zwift, like living in Canada and being injured, like. But also, I also really like Zwifts. But I do, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how life
What's kind of
goes.
like the community difference between Berlin and Girona for you?
I have to say Berlin is an awesome city, but it's big. Like she's a big city, so it's like if you want to get a coffee with a friend or if you want to just like hang out, you have to take like the metro for 40 minutes minimum. Like everyone is minimum 40 minutes away, and I really enjoy like that Girona you can just like walk that like you can be like, "Hey, want to get a coffee before we ride?" Hell yeah, it's like super
Like
easy
five
cuz
minute walk.
5 minute walk. I'm kind of staying like outside of like the center, which is really nice. I'm staying in
Yeah.
Newtown because I feel like if you're in Old Town, it's just like overwhelming and too much because there's so many cyclists there. But I don't run into anybody unless I like make intentional plans, and I really like that. But yeah, it's funny because my whole life I like grew up in a big city. I grew up like in Montreal, and then I like lived in Berlin, and I was like, I'm a city girl. I love the big city, but I'm like, I think all I need is like I like the nature and the mountains, and I like a walking town. I think all I need is one specialty coffee shop and like some trails, and I'm
Yeah.
like I like
And you're
the
good.
yeah. It's crazy. So.
I know. I feel like I go so back and forth, and like if there's a reason to like, I feel like even like my parents' house right now, it's like so nice because like I wake up and I'm like I just hear the birds and I feel so
Oh,
peaceful.
the birds.
And like I spent some time like I've like spent a lot of time like in and out of New York, and it's funny because it's like if I don't really have a reason to be there, like if I just have like 2 days off, I'm like, what the heck am I doing?
What's living
Like
in New York
I
life? That
love
must be
it.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm like I love it, but it's hard to like turn off your brain, I feel like when you're in like a really big city. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's so fun because you have so many different things going on and there's always people doing things. So anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it just depends really like what phase of your life you're at. If you're like really trying to be social and extroverted, maybe big city is better. But if you're just
Yeah.
like if you're just vibing and I'm just vibing.
Hmm. When
Yeah.
did you switch from doing the corporate career stuff to like the full kind of like individual freelance social media side of things?
Oh, I just started actually like in January.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
in January, so not that long. I was always like, yeah, like I mentioned, doing some random freelance gigs on the side, and then I was kind of able to make it work as of January, so not that long. But I have to say, like, I think maybe when I'm older or like when I'm not racing bikes so much and traveling so much, I'll probably go back to like a real job because pensions are nice, healthcare is nice, and like there's some benefits for sure. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. A little bit less stress.
yeah,
A little bit less
exactly.
like, okay, wait, where's my income coming from this month?
Yeah, exactly. A little bit less of like the day by day. So yeah.
Do you feel like you had any races like when you kind of first started? I don't know, like that could be like crit, road, gravel, that like you had that race and you were like, oh my gosh, like I really want to just keep doing this, or like, wow, I kind of see a little bit more of not quite a career path, but like a path going this way.
Um, this is a really random one, but one of my favorite races I ever did was Gravel Locos in Texas.
Okay. That is a
Have you,
random one, yeah.
it is a random one. Have you heard of that one?
I
It's
have
like
heard of it, yeah.
yeah. Oh my God. So when I did that race, I like the first year I did it, I got like fifth, and I was like, wait a minute, like this is actually like a pretty decent result because it was like I think 250K at that time, and now the
Yeah.
length sort of was shorter, and I realized like I perform better in like the longer stuff than like the shorter, snappier stuff. I have like like way better like endurance, and I just like really loved it and really loved the community. Oh wait, but actually the race that kind of was like the one that was like okay, I can get more sponsors out of this was when I did Unbound in 2023. I did the HCAT and I won the HCAT. And when I won the HCAT, I got a lot of sponsorships from that. And I think that was when I was like, okay, maybe I can like look in the bigger picture and like start racing like elite in the pros, which is what I'm doing now. So
Got it. Yeah.
yeah.
That'll do it right there.
Oh yeah, I was like, I think, yeah, that was the year that it was like super muddy and like crazy. Um,
Not
yeah,
fun.
but yeah, I think that was the race that was like a big turning point for me. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
Fun stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on besides the races that you're like super psyched for in the next bit?
I think I'm super excited to go home next month. I think that's gonna be awesome. I think like living abroad and living away, it's amazing. But like all the friends I have are like, new friends. I don't have the people that have known me like my whole life. So I'm really looking forward to going home and like seeing my friends and my family. And my cousin's getting married, and I'm gonna be a bridesmaid, and it's
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
so fun. In
oh.
like outside of Montreal.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna see my twin brother who I haven't seen in like
Are you a
over.
twin?
Yes, I do have a twin. Surprise! His name's Thomas. He's the best.
Okay. I have
Yeah,
like so many more questions now.
yeah. Oh my, we basically, yeah, we were best friends and grew up together, but now we live on opposite ends of the world. We still FaceTime sometimes, and like we're very, very different, but we have like the same values and like the same sense of humors, and we're just like, it's basically just me as a boy. Like that's the cool things about boy girl twins. It's like, you ever wonder what the male version of you is? Well, I
And then,
know.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see him. I think that's gonna be really fun.
Wait, when was the last time you guys saw each other?
Well, okay, we saw each other in October.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah. But we pretty much only see each other once a year. So maybe we gotta start making it twice a year. But yeah, I'm
Wait,
super
what does
excited.
he do? Like, what does he spend his time doing? Is he also like an athlete, or does he do? Yeah.
Um, he's like a gym bro. He lives in Edmonton. So he moved like
Okay.
super far, and then I
Got it.
also moved super far. And he works like he's a railroad traffic controller. So he does like, he dispatches all the trains. So make sure they don't crash into each other. And he's also really into music. So he makes like beats and stuff and then sells them to rappers. So that's his side gig. It's really funny, but they're really good, honestly.
Wait,
It's,
that's kind of awesome. That is just
yeah.
such a unique collab of like train, beats, gym bro.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
whole thing right there. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah, it's
Oh, did you guys like go to like the same school and everything too, where it was like you're the twins in class together?
yep, we went to the same school. Our parents asked to put us in separate classes, which was, thank God we did that. That was amazing. But it was so crazy because like in high school and stuff, you go to like your first house parties and it's like your brother's there. Like, oh my God, it was so weird. But yeah, it was funny. We would just like study together and like hate each other but also love each other. So yeah.
Classic sibling thing.
Oh, class. Do you have any siblings?
I have a younger sister. She's
Oh,
the best.
nice.
Yeah,
Aw.
she's like the absolute best person in the entire world. So
Ah.
I feel like I'm so thankful because I feel like a lot of people, it's like, you have rough patches with your siblings, but I feel like it's weird because we kind of just like feel like our personalities like very much so fit together where it's like we're like opposite enough but then have like the same interest. And then it's
Yeah.
cool 'cause, like even with like the podcasting stuff, she does like all of the graphic design for it. So I
No
don't do like, yeah,
way.
so I don't do any of that because I'm not talented at putting things together graphically. And so she does all of that, and then like we were both doing work together like the last like 3 weeks, and so it's just like it's pretty sick.
Your graphics are super, super cool. It's cool to see that it's your
All
sister
her.
who does
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh my God, they're really good. She's really talented.
I know, and I feel like they've like really we've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm like so psyched on the graphics now because it took a while to kind of like get it dialed in.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's like that always when you try like something new. You gotta do
yeah.
a couple tests until you find the right one.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Do you have any other like random stories to leave people on?
Oh my God.
I feel like you have a lot of good stories.
Oh, I definitely have a couple under the belt. But I mean, for now, I just just, yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I'm super happy, and yeah, just keep
Yeah.
living.
Just keep living.
Just keep moving, baby.
Perfect spot to end it on.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our Instagram, Wander Women's Collective, as there are plenty more updates on all things Wander, including events. And I think we're actually going to probably be having a merch drop happening